Nuk e di jemi gati apo jo?
Are we ready?
Përshëndetje.
Hello again.
Prezantojmë gjetjet
We will be introducing the findings up to now of the current progress in the voting process. According to our observers in the field, before we go to the findings, we believe that on behalf of the observation action, we call, as we said during the first press conference today, we call on all political parties and their supporters to facilitate the flow of voters in polling stations and to dismiss the groups around the polling stations, which usually stand in the entrance. The commissioners and all the staffs supporting the commissioners should exercise and should complete their task to complete the obligation to have no gatherings at 150 meters from the polling station, except for the people that are there to vote. We have some of these cases in Durrës and Shijak and in Caneta, but it is a phenomenon that, according to the observers, is present in 6% of the polling stations. So there are people around the polling stations hanging around. It is important for citizens going to vote to feel safe, unthreatened, and unintimidated in their will when they go to cast their ballot. It is important for the political parties to express the clear and strong will, as they have done today, the willingness of the political leadership, which has been clearly expressed and greeted by all of the stakeholders, should be reflected at all levels of the political party, especially their supporters in the grassroots and their followers. Leave and let citizens vote in peace and remove yourselves from the polling stations. Their presence is intimidating for the citizens, especially those who are undecided or feel intimidated in voting. In addition to this, it is important for the political observers to maintain their limited role in the polling station. It is unfair for political observers to inform their party structures regarding citizens that go to vote, that go to cast a ballot. In all polling stations, we have noted political observers that inform their parties through tablets of lists or even in a loud voice about the persons voting. This is nothing more than the start of a chain that the political parties have started to bring out their supporters or to get information on who has voted up to that point at that polling station. This is not in line with ensuring the complete freedom of the unthreatened will of the people. Even though political parties may justify themselves to bring out their supporters, this is nothing less and nothing more than what CRIC has related to patronage and political intimidation. There is no reason whatsoever for political parties and political observers to have information on what and who are the citizens voting in real time. The polling station commissioners should not allow this to happen in their polling stations, and they should not allow the use of phones and other electronic devices or this type of communication as well. We'll go to the findings, identify the dates up to this moment. As regards methodology that we explained before, the methodology of statistical-based observation, regarding the process updating these at a confidence level of 95%. Until 3 p.m., we have identified unauthorized persons in the polling stations at 70%, at 7%, and almost 50% of them were party representatives. In not all polling stations, all of the observers do not clearly see the polling booth, the ballot booth. In some of the polling stations, the processes have been undertaken without the posters of orientation. In 6.5%, there is no list of candidates, which is a fundamental process to inform citizens on who is, what is the number that is assigned to the relevant candidate they want to support in the relevant political force. The voter list also is missing in 7% of the polling stations outdoors, or the information bulletin where the citizens can look at their names. A considerable number of polling stations lack the facilities for disabled persons to vote. In many cases, voting is done without signing, without marking the finger in 4%, but this has been verified because this is at the limit of the margin of error. There are cases where citizens are allowed to vote in outside of the secret booth in 3 cases, and as I said before, voters are allowed to use their phones in the polling stations in 8% of the polling stations, while in 5% of them the commissioners have allowed citizens to keep their cell phones in hand while they were marking their ballot. This is completely forbidden, and actually the state commissioner yesterday noted this, and this should not be tolerated. The members of the polling station commissions should do their job pursuant to the law to prevent any type of negative phenomenon and complying with the law accurately and completely, not allowing citizens with their cell phones when they enter the polling station, or even more so when they enter the secret booth. In some polling stations, people were noted persons helping more than one person with disabilities in 6 cases. In 4 cases, the commissioners of the polling stations have helped disabled persons to vote, and it should be said that this is forbidden by law. It is concerning that even in this election, a family election, up until now at least, is noted and is seen at in 24% of the polling stations. It is very important here to call on the commissioners in the polling stations, so the entire administration too, but also the citizens to avoid family voting. This is an act that is punishable by law, in addition to directly intimidating the free will of the voter, even though there may be one of the family members or the head of the family voting on behalf of all of the others. The picture taking of the ballot is also forbidden, and it has been noted only in 1 case, while we note that even in the first press release, press conference, if I'm not mistaken, 2262 polling station, so we did not have the right number of the polling station that where the picture was taken. It happened again in Shkodra. And we also noted some other cases in the some processes that were suspended because of the failure of the electronic identification equipment and identification is being done manual. In 11 centers in Kavaia and in Shkodra, they're working manually. In Peshkopia, in the polling station 1135, there is delays in the procedures, while there are a lot of people in the line that want to vote. This is because of the manual identification or even through the equipment. It is not. It is important to note that if the ID card is damaged or if the fingerprints are not read easily, but by the equipment, it is the operator that manually inputs the data in the equipment, and this has led to delays. In 4307 in Toxat in Girocastra, we have noted a voter taking a picture of their ballot. It was declared invalid, and the case was reported to the police. In 4368 in Maliai, the process was suspended for 30 minutes because of the disagreement of the commission members to accompany, regarding the decision to accompany a couple of blind persons that were not accompanied by their family members. In this case, we need to note again that the commission members are forbidden from accompanying such people to vote. In 2396 in Elbasan, voting is done manually, verification is done manually. In both this center, both commissioners of the SMI and the DP complain that there is more presence by persons, but the center has not taken a decision to call the police as the law provides. We call on all commissioners to get information from citizens or the observers and to ensure the implementation and enforcement of the provision that ensures the non-concentration of individuals at the polling station. In this case, the law provides that the commissioner should call the police, and the state police should make a decision. And the state police needs to intervene to remove these individuals. Again, Elbasan in 2396, 2316, 2301. There is a lack of infrastructure for persons with disabilities, and this has led to when these individuals has difficulties when these individuals show up to vote. In 79, Commission Administration Zone, Election Administration Commission, one of the commissioners has been changed because of his health issues. In polling station 2860/1 in Lushnia, we have identified voters of the same family that are not voters in the list of this center, but should be in Uzberis Tirana, while the other one in the election commission, election administration commission zone 54 in Tirana. We are collecting the cases of people showing up in different lists than previous elections. And this is in regard to the incomplete process of written notification for the voters before the election. In Chaf Mali, in Center 398, one person was not allowed who had an expired card to vote. he wanted to use this card, even though there is a order that all expired cards will have validity until April 30th, 2021. In 4498 polling station at 14:30, a person was identified taking in a picture in Vlora, and the police was notified. And in Tirana as well, in the Costrimi Liris school, the unjustified presence of an unauthorized persons outdoors was identified, and the commission has called the state police that has intervened, and the process has been continuing normally right now. Also, in polling station 1767 in the Tirana municipality, there were attempts to take pictures of the ballot. From the latest information, we also understand that in Lake Bibay, in Tropoia, there was a conflict which escalated up to weapon brandishing between two citizens, and a physical confrontation was between two citizens because of the propaganda and the different political affiliation. It started in the center and continues outside. Because of this, the voting was interrupted for some 4 hours, while one members of the commission has left with the seal of the polling station, and we are following up on this case so that we can consider it fully. And we will inform you later. These are the findings up to now. Very quickly, CRIC is actually working with to come up with a percentage of the voters, differently from other times. In the previous 3 elections, the calculation, the estimation of the participation was one of the main findings, but in respect of using technology by the CEC and actually to stimulate a process that is as complete as possible and not to create any confusion in providing figures. In this case, our observers did not have this request to note the participation. We are working right now actually to come up with a participation rate, and we will inform you in the next press conference. The next one will be at 6 o'clock. If there are any questions, we're open right now before we close this one. As far as I can see, we have no questions, even from the online participants. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see each other at 6 o'clock. Thank you.